If I would complain, that would be a crime. If I was complaining, that would be a crime. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting cut off at the knees a little bit, you know? Well, it's not a feeling. I am being cut off at the knees. And I gotta be okay with it. It's one of those moments where you gotta be so okay with who you are and what you stand for that you kind of have to send your whole entire body in a state of calm. The kind of calm that is not easy to do, but it can be done. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sending myself to this place of calm because I need to. Because it's not gonna, like, to respond in anger or disrespect or even, good morning, Miss Lynn, to try to fight it will never serve me. It will get me nowhere. In the long run, it will cause more harm. And oftentimes it's what people want. They want you to respond in anger. They want you to give up. They want you to shrink yourself. They want you to do all those things. And so I'm making like this mental decision to not do those things. But I'm doing good. That's probably more than what you were actually asking for. But there you have it. Coming to you live. Coming to you live from the great state of Texas. Good morning, y'all. I'm back. It's another week. I missed Friday. It was probably a good thing. My spouse had a procedure. I took him to his procedure. I forgot. Good morning, Michelle. How you doing? How was your weekend? I forgot that he had the doggone procedure, and I just made a decision. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it this morning. It's not happening. And it made for a much better day instead of me trying to force it. All right. All right. Let's get into this conversation. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Charlene. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's hard, right? Because we're just human beings. And when you realize that you're being cut off at the knees, and you're realizing that it's purposeful, and you're realizing there's nothing you can, well, there are things you can do about it, but you feel, sometimes you might feel trapped or limited. You know, I'm learning and realizing that, like, hey, stay like this. Good morning, Janice. How you doing? How are you? Stay like this. All right? And as long as I stay like this, I know everything will be okay. All right? Because at the end of the day, in 2025, I'm not going to shrink for anybody. I'm only shrinking waistlines and dick. That's it. All right, let's get into this conversation. Let's dive right in. That was not related. But since she asked me how I was doing, I thought I would tell her the truth. We're running these businesses on our own. We're on our own running these businesses, right? You doing okay, Michelle? I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully we are on to 2,000 in sales. She hit 15 a couple weeks ago. It's my hope that you hit 2,000 sooner rather than later. All right? Those of you who are new to this spot, I'm Martine, and this is Morning Motivation. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I just come on and try to keep you encouraged. We talk AI, we talk mindset shifts, talk business, and it's my hope that through these conversations, we both walk away with some strategies that we can use to help us be more successful in our work. All right? This is week 4 of our Kaizen series. Kaizen series talks about tiny shifts, big ripple. Tiny shifts, big ripple. We're trying to make changes, and I've been working on this all year. So I've been trying to get a little better all year in hopes that these little bitty steps I'm taking to improve. Good morning. these little bitty steps I'm taking to improve will have a huge impact. All right, and I invite you to do it with me. The Kaizen principles comes from Japan. Companies like Toyota follow these principles so their companies and their people just perform better. And when companies and people in an organization perform better, then the dividends are going to be greater. Okay? All right. So let's talk about how we're running these businesses. How do y'all feel? What are your feelings around being a solopreneur? Those of you don't have a VA, you're not making enough money. Good morning, Emma. You're not making enough money to have a VA. Good morning, Jason. What's that like? I know what it's like for me, but what is it like for you? Knowing that every single thing you do. Good morning, Monica and Moxie. How you doing? That's my old coworker. Hey, Monica, glad to have you this morning, even if it's just for 2 seconds. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, my love. Aw, thanks. Thanks. The feelings are mutual. Thank you. Monica, if you've never been on, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I just do about 30-40 minutes of encouragement. I walk while I'm doing it because you get 2 things done. I can reach 2 of my goals at the same time, so I've been doing this. I'd love to have you any Monday, Wednesday, or Friday that you're available, and I just want to keep you and the rest of the space encouraged. That's it, and that's all. That's it, and that's all. Just want to keep you encouraged, all right? And you can stay. If you can stay for a while, we'd love to have you. If you just can hop in and hop out, girl, I'm with you. Good morning, user plus some numbers. Glad to have you. Oh, of course, of course. You can come walk with me anytime you want. Walking is not required, but I do have several people that come in and walk. But it's not required. All levels of movement are welcome, including zero. Some people put these morning calls in their ears like a podcast. Some. Good morning, Lashar. You're walking this morning? Yeah, I didn't know that. Come on, sis. I didn't know you were walking. Some people do walk. I've got, including Lashar Custom Designs, I've got 4 people that walk. Yeah, I didn't know that you were walking with me. Yay for walking. I have some people who go to YouTube, watch the replay, and they walk in the afternoons. All right? So it's totally up to you. Good morning, Myrna. Good morning. How you doing? How are you? How was your weekend? Miss Monica, how was your weekend? Lashar Customs Designs, how was your weekend? Today we're going to talk about delegation, especially when you're running these businesses on your own and maybe you aren't making enough profit to hire people. What are some things you can do? All right. The Kaizen principle says we can't do this thing alone. All right. And if you ask any business owner worth their weight, good morning, Alex, they're not running their business alone. All right. Somebody, something, or some entity is helping. All right. All right, Monica, very busy. Yeah, send me a text. My number, nothing's changed. Send me a text. And I'd love to catch up. Yeah, because I want to know if you're at the place that we were both at before. Myrna says I'm doing great. I hope the same to you. Weekend was great. Lots of family time. Yeah. I ended up randomly making a crab boil Saturday night. And I invited my family over. So my mom and my brother came over. And I fed them. And we had a good time. My father passed almost 10 years ago. So I'll say this about my dad. He didn't care about nothing. He didn't care about no holidays. He was very even in that way. right? And so Father's Day in particular, you know, you would call him and say, Happy Father's Day, Daddy. Oh, thank you very much. Like, he didn't care. So I think it's, I think what I miss is wondering if his mindset would have shaped differently the older he got, right? Because y'all know, parents turn into grandparents one day, and then they become brand new people. So I do wonder if he would have taken, oh, I'm losing these pants, take into account, like, what kind of grandfather he wanted to be in celebrating holidays in that way. Because he did not. He was even killed. Merry Christmas, Daddy. Hey, Merry Christmas. Right, Corey? And listen, my sister has the best recipe, and I've been following her recipe to the T. She pulled together all of the best YouTube suggestions on how to make a seafood boil. And chef's kiss. We ran through that food so fast. And y'all know how family do. So first of all, I didn't cook that much because I wasn't sure if they were going to actually show. So I didn't want to have like oodles and noodles of crab. I look up, they both showed up. Good morning, Miss Janice. I look up and they both showed up. And I was like, well, eat fast. So I had a good weekend. Yeah, Miss Corey, you're the same way? Yeah, that's what my dad was. My dad passed away around Halloween. We buried him on Halloween. And so people were like, you know, would that freak your dad out? No, he didn't care about no Halloween. He'd be like, put me in the ground, girl. That is, he just didn't care. Christmas, I won't say he didn't care. It wasn't a priority. The only holiday I would say celebrated with any kind of energy was Super Bowl. So he would watch the Super Bowl. He's a 90s guy, and he was a Cowboys fan. And so he 100% wanted his little Super Bowl spread, and he was not a drinker. He didn't drink. So his soda, that was the only day I would say he put forth any amount of energy to celebrate. All right. So it's always a little weird for me, but it was nice to have the family over, and we ate it all up, y'all. wasn't a drop left. Wasn't a drop left. Oh, Miss Corey, I'm glad you had a good day. I'm glad you had a good day. Dads used to get the short end of the stick. Alright, so we're running these businesses. And within the running of these businesses, we often find ourselves in the position where at least I know for me, I'm doing every single thing in the business. Every single thing, it all falls on me. I'm doing it all. Alright? And over time, parts of my business starts to stall. Alright? Hopefully I'm not alone. And it starts to stall because I'm trying to answer every DM. I design every graphic. I put together every product. Right? And that is where the overwhelm comes in. That's where it comes in. And frankly, it's not sustainable. So we've got to learn to share the load. We've got to share the load with either people, processes, or like low tech, so that the momentum of your business never stops. All right? Y'all know why TRM works? Because we're with a team. You know how Misha's been able to scale? Team. If her intention was to continue to try to teach, train, and coach on everything in isolation, there would be no DCT. She was able to scale because she understood the power of teams. All right? Let me let you sit in on that. TRM, we've had a lot of success since we came together. There have been weeks where one or two of us could not show up in that project for whatever reason, and it was okay because the others were there to do it. All right? Everything is not on any one of us directly for TIM to be successful. Okay? So you got to figure out what your community is going to look like, what the partnership is going to look like. And then if you're saying, hey, that's not my thing, or that's not my space, or, I really want to keep this in-house, that's okay too. So then for you, you've got to figure out some ways to create some systems, automate, and find low-cost ways that you can save on time so that you can only focus on what matters most. All right? So that's going to be key. So let me know in the chat, are there any parts of your business that you automate? Does anybody practice automation? Like, I love ChatGPT, but I have to put so much work into ChatGPT that it's not the automation tool I thought it would be. I'll be honest with you. I can spend 6 to 10 hours working on a single project. Now, I know historically without ChatGPT, it would have taken probably weeks or months. But y'all, time is time, and money is money. And good morning, J&J Embroidery Creation. The most expensive thing we have on our hands is time. It is the most expensive thing that we have. It is the most expensive thing we have. Good morning, Miss Gail. How you doing this way? How was your weekend? All right, Mr. Corey says he automates his ads, and he has softwares that post 500 ads. God dang. How has that helped you get more of your time back, Mr. Corey? He's got a software that posts up to 500 ads a day for him. And then, of course, email automation. Oh, that's great to hear, Ms. Gail. I'm glad you had a great weekend. Good morning, Courtney. Those of you that are just stopping in, we're talking about how to delegate within your business, because you really can't carry, not long term, you can carry the weight of your business in sprints, so you're going to burn out. So I want to share with you a couple things that you can do to help turn that around. All right. Oh, wow. So automating your ads has given you 2 to 3 hours back. So over the course of a week, if you were doing that 2 to 3 times a week, it essentially gave you 10 to 15 hours a week back. Wow, that's crazy. Are your ads churning into sales for you? So I guess the question is, what you spend on the ad, is that what's being spent on the ad, how I want to say, is what you spend to automate the ads bringing up the scale so that you sales, that you have a profit. That's what I'm trying to say. Good morning, Marie. Because that's where I'm at. I kind of want to hire a VA. That's what I'd like to do. And I'll tell you what's been holding me back. There have been two things that have been holding me back on hiring a VA, and I'll tell you what those things are. Because you may be struggling with this too. All right? Oh, wow. Okay, so you paid a one-time fee 3 years ago, and now you have consistent sales and lead generation. Oh, wow. Congratulations. You definitely found that thing that's helped move your business in a different direction. Congratulations to you. Good morning, Dana. I love that. And I want to highlight that, guys. All right? He's found that thing that allows him to set it and forget it. Does it mean that he can't, or that he's going to stop working on other areas of business? Absolutely not. But what it does for him is it allows him to scale. All right? Good morning, Marlene Jewel. Good morning, Gardenia. Good morning, Joseph. It allows him to scale. And that's what we're trying to do. In a wonderful world, depending on, kind of what your thinking is, you get the business to grow, or at least this is how I understand it, to the point where you're seeing sales on a consistent basis, and that the probability of you continuing to see scales is so consistent that the business is self-sustainable. All right? That's what we all should be trying to get to. All right? Does not mean you're going to be a millionaire. All right? That's not what that means. Good morning, Layola. But what it does mean is that you can depend on the profits or the earned income that comes in from your business. All right? Now, some people, that's not what their goal is. Some people, their goal might be to, how do I want to say this? Earn additional income. Maybe it's just $1,000 a month. Maybe it's just $2,000. Okay? So it's definitely predicated on what your goals are. How much additional support you might need. It's dependent on that. All right? Oh, that's cool. Some Sakura, he said his goal was just to pay off a bill. He said, now we got a grocery money. He's like, look at the grocery money. And I know you need grocery money the way I need grocery money. He over there, we team mouths to feed. Good morning, Queen Kiani. All right. We got mouths to feed. I started because my husband and I both lost our jobs in the same 30 days. That's what put me on this path. All right. Same 30 days. He lost his job. He was laid off. I was laid off. This is in 2023, I think. We were both laid off. First time in my adult life that I did not have a job. I've always had a job since I was 18 years old. And I picked up a new job, and that company laid me off. Right? It wasn't personal. I was only at that job a month. It wasn't personal. I will say this, they were one of the few companies that probably was forecasting all the craziness that's happening right now. They actually had a really good beat on that, and they were cutting losses early. They're one of the earliest companies that really began to streamline before the world was set on fire. And so that month, I lost my job. My husband lost his job, and I did not like the ease in which a company could let you go. I did not like. I felt voiceless. I felt powerless. Like I didn't have more of a say in my relationship with working and earning income. All right? I just didn't feel like I had a say in it. And so I got a job. Right at the end of that 30-day mark, I got a job. He got a job about, he got a job probably 30 days after me. So within 2 months, everybody was back to working somewhere. And since then, he's got multiple jobs. I've got multiple jobs. And we do this thing differently. Right? And so it was in that moment, like once I was back to working, I was like, you know, I need to get a part-time business going so that I've always got a little something going on the side. And that's where this business came from. For me, I don't want this thing to become this big old thing. So I don't want that. I like having my day job. I like some of the benefits that just comes with having a day job for what the season I'm in my life right now. And so it's okay. But I will, after that experience, I will forever have something going on the side. I didn't like it. But the company has to do what's in the best interest of the company, right? So when we take on these businesses, we need to do what's best for us in our business, right? Which means you need to delegate. Thank you, Monica. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. You probably didn't know that same month my husband and I both were out of work. All right. Yeah, see? Mr. Corey said his illness caused him to lose time at work and they let him go. Right? These businesses, these companies that you work for, at the end of the day, their job is not even the best interest of themselves. It's in the best interest of the organization. Right? Good morning, Whitney. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Sarah Whitney. So, you have to put yourself in a position where you got a little something going on. And if that little something becomes the big business that you never thought would happen and that speaks to you, I love it. Good morning, Mind, Body, and Soul. If you're like me, and it's just the thing you do on the side to supplement your income, all right, if that's what it is for you, then let that be what it is. All right, but you got to delegate. So let's talk about some things that we can do to facilitate delegation, okay? In Google and a lot of our tools, you can automate replies. That way, certain emails that come through your account, they always get an immediate response and you can follow up later. Very low cost way to do some automation. All right? You can schedule your emails out, but I'm going to warn you, scheduling platforms, I find when you use a scheduling platform that's not native to an app, so like if you don't use Facebook's scheduler or YouTube or TikTok scheduler, some of these other tools, in my opinion, those videos and content get suppressed. Fewer people see it because the platforms are saying you're using an external tool to schedule. This is inauthentic, and because it's inauthentic, we're going to make sure fewer people see it. All right? So I'm going to say batch and create your content and then make a plan to schedule some of it to go out, but you still need to be pushing out content the good old-fashioned way, by hand. because that is what the algorithm and these apps responds to the best. All right. Now, I just taught a Canva brand kit class. So in the Canva world, you can set up your own brand kit. And if you have a team of people that are working on designs, you can actually add them to your team, give them your brand kit, and they can create content for you. All right? Because you're giving them the colors, the elements, the fonts. Right? A lot of people don't realize that that's what those brand kits are about. Those brand kits actually help your entire team design for you while keeping your voice relevant and active. All right? So I want you to think about that. What are some things that you can do in your everyday life to automate? If you've got the finances to hire a VA, hire one. Philippines and Africa, the continent, there are several agencies where you can actually hire someone $4 an hour, $5 an hour, $7 an hour. They may be less experienced, but for less than $400 a month, $300-$400 a month, you can have somebody doing some of this work for you. Okay? You really could. And look at it this way. If you're making, let's say you're making 1,000, 30% goes to a VA. Over time, the amount of work that VA could potentially churn out could send you to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 a month. So don't sleep on VAs. If it's possible, I'm international these days. The way my folks is cutting up, I'm international. I don't care where you live. If the price is right, we can talk. All right? So consider hiring internationally. Just checking my chats here. Y'all, thank y'all for the hearts, man. Y'all sent me to 1,300 today. I'm shocked. A VA is a virtual assistant. Good morning, Cynthia. A VA is a virtual assistant. So they can do things for you like schedule and post your content, create your content, handle your email account if you want them to. Yeah, look international. The rates are actually really, really great because you got to remember the dollar reads different. So where you may be saying, well, that's $300 a month, and they worked, 40, 50 hours for me this work. That $300 there is equivalent to what we make here. Okay? So consider hiring a virtual. It's been on my mind. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. The only thing that's been holding me back is control. Control. In the words of the great Janet Jackson, control is what's been holding me back, to tell you the truth. Two things. One, if you hire a virtual assistant, you also have to train the virtual assistant. That's more time. So in my mind, well, shoot, I got to spend time training them. But the truth is, if you want to know the truth, I'm afraid to let control go. And I bet some of you are too. Some of the reasons why you don't delegate is because you believe they're not going to do it like you will. They're not bought in the way you're bought in. They're going to make mistakes. And all of those mindsets are keeping you from the next level. They're keeping me from it too, just FYI. Whitney asked, how How do you decide what tasks they would do? So for me, a virtual assistant, I would batch all of my video content that I want to make, and then my virtual assistant would create the videos, and then depending on who the VA is, they would either post it to my socials or they would send it back to me finished and I would post it. They may write my social media copy based on what they see in the video. So that's a big one. When I teach a lot, Whitney. I really teach a lot. And so they would be my moderator. If I was to hire a VA with TRM, like if the three of us came together and decided we wanted a VA, they would moderate our live calls, handle all the links to take some of that pressure off. Because y'all, those of you who come to Sundays with TRM, I hope it feels like a good experience and I hope it runs smooth, but it's actually quite difficult to do. You're trying to keep up with the conversation that's active. You're also trying to remember to drop all the links in 2 different chats. You are getting incoming messages during the live. Some of them are relevant to the live, some of them are not. So a VA would come in and help with all of that so that I could just focus on being engaged in the call instead of I'm here in the call, I'm sharing links to the chat, sharing links to the Facebook, I'm doing the prize wheel. Like all of that's happening and swirling at the same time. You guys just don't realize it. So those are the things I would hire a virtual assistant to do. The big one would be designing my social media and making sure it's prepped and ready to go for me to post. Or I use a program called Loomly, Whitney. I would have them post it to Loomly, and then I would review it, and then if I'm happy with it, I'll let it go out. Because if you know anything, the social media to me is the hardest part. I would let them handle my emails as well. So they would build out all of my emails based on the needs for that week and set them up and push them out. Good morning, 7. Good morning, glad to have you. So that's what I would use a VA for. That would take loads off of me so that I can focus on other parts of the business, right? That would give me, because right now, here's what's happening, Whitney. I don't post to social media nowhere near as much as I should because I'm building out high quality classes. All the time I'm spending on classes, all the time I'm spending on classes, I'm like, I don't have time to tell people about the class because I want really good quality classes. And the classes are me. That's my heart, that's my heartbeat, right? So that's how I would use them. I don't know, does that help? Y'all let me know if those examples help. Because what you should be doing in your business should be the truest thing to you. And when you can delegate to the other parts, to other individuals, or if not other individuals, if you can delegate them through automation, then you really should, right? I need my butt whooped, y'all. I have what do I have? I have a program, I pay for it. Every time I post to TikTok, it automatically posts to Facebook and YouTube. I've had several of my shorts on YouTube hit over 1,000 just because I had automation. But I'm struggling with having enough time to build the social media and the product that I really need help. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I've got a class coming up next week. If I don't talk about this class on this live, there probably won't be any social media around it. Because I don't have time to do both. I don't have time to do both. So I take the hit. I want my content to be such good quality that I don't care nothing about the social media as much. If I have to choose, I'm choosing the quality of the content. I'll have fewer students in my class. And in this moment, in this time, that's okay. Because that's what I have the maximum to do. Or I can hire a VA and let them start handling that part of it for me. And then my job is just take an hour or two a week, create all the videos, all the things, and then have them edit them, ready them for, good morning, Infinite Rocket Power. How you doing? And have the virtual assistant ready them to be posted to social media. Or even, and if it's someone I really trust, have them posted to social media. Y'all may not know this, but on your Facebook business page, you can actually add people to those pages. Like add, like moderators or something. Not groups, pages, because that's different. You can actually add them and not like you don't have to give them your username and password. When you add them, you can give them permissions to post to your business pages. Good morning, Be Digital Love. So there are ways to definitely delegate, and I'm challenging myself to be more open to delegating. And I want to challenge you to do more delegation in your business as well. Okay? So let me start from the top. How can you delegate when you don't necessarily have the profit margins to hire someone? Find small ways to automate, like auto-responding on emails, like using social media schedulers. All right? Those are little tiny things that you can do. Tiny things you can do. If you've got a little bit more money to expend, consider going international and hiring a virtual assistant. But you've got to be fully prepared that if you're wanting that $5, $6, $7, $9 rate, $8 rate, they may be less experienced. So you pay less, you get a less experienced VA, you're going to spend a lot of time training them up to where you need to be. That's not always the case, but it's definitely a possibility. Your higher value VAs, they've got more experience. They should be able to do more faster. You're going to pay more. All right? Well, thank you, Be Digital Love. I know you be working during this time, so anytime you can sneak in and say hello, I appreciate you. All right. This week, it's another great week in my world and in the TRM world. And I actually did some DCT collaborations this week as well, so let's talk about it. Today is Mid-Journey Mondays. Regina is the Mid-Journey Monarch, 7 o'clock p.m. Central. You can follow her everywhere. She has Queen Creative Gallery. And make sure you're signed up for SREF Insiders to get access to the Zoom. Tuesday, we have Color Me Calm. We just come together, color and chill with Talia. She's got all the things. She's our crafting queen. All right. This Wednesday, I will be hosting a office hours based on the Canva Seasons brand kit and templates class that I did Saturday. Was anybody in there? Anybody on this call in that class? If you weren't, you missed out. I will not be reteaching the class Wednesday, but what I will be doing is I will be giving folks feedback on their brand kits, give them tips and things they can do. And I will be demonstrating how to use the GPT. That came with that session, and then there's a workbook that I'm going to be talking about. So that's what we're going to do Wednesday. And then I think that's all. I think this is a light week for TRM. I have to check with the team. Sundays we'll be back for another Sundays with TRM. We had some folks who showed up for Sundays with TRM. It was a great time we had yesterday. We knew it was going to be a holiday, so we didn't have as many people, but we were glad to create a space for folks to have somewhere to be and to chit chat for a little while. All right, so that's what's going on this week. If you need and here's what I am doing. I'm not going to go over the whole class and office hours. I'm not doing that. So just facts. But if you want to get the office hours, DM me. Let me know. You may benefit from just being there in that way. All right. It may also help you decide if you want to just get the whole Campus Seasons package, to be honest with you. It might. So you're more than welcome to join. I think you can learn some snippets from that class. Oh, Lord, and I forgot. Next week, we're talking keywords. Next week, we are talking keywords. How to master them. How to master keywords. Okay, how to find them. I'm going to be showing you my system that I use to take those Everbee reports. Okay, how to take the reports, how to use ChatGPT to analyze those reports effectively. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. That's next week. Next Thursday, I believe. All right, you don't want to miss it. It's a great time to be had. Okay. All right, we've had a great group today. Yeah, Corey, we had a good time. He said he missed out. Yeah, the brand kit class, it was great. I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great time too. Yeah, I don't always walk away feeling like good. It's because I'm a perfectionist and I'll never be perfect, so I just have to accept that. But this is one of those times I was like, nah, people learn new things. People learned new things. They did. Sometimes I walk away going, did they? And then I collect data during my teaching, and I go run my data, like, yep, they did. They said they did. Oh, man. Ooh, we digital love. Please get some rest. Please get some rest. Those are long 12-hour days, ma'am. Do you get a vacation? I feel like you work a lot. Do you have any vacation built in? I really hope so. Really, really hope you've got some vacation time built in. You like me, you work a lot. All right. All of my services and resources are in my profile. Go up to my profile picture, click on the link that says Pensight, Pensight, and just Martine 8. Click on that link. All my products and resources are there. Get what you need, okay? So if you need market research help, I can help you with that. If you need keyword support, I can help you with that. If you need Canva help, I can help you with that. Oh, you're good, but you need a vacation, Be Digital Love. That's what I said. I said, when is your vacation? You need a vacation, honey. That's what I'm over here blabbering about. You need a vacation. All right, so here's the homework. Homework for this week. I need you to find something to automate. Okay? If you like this discussion around hiring a VA, go Google VA. There's a company in, good morning, Sandra. There's a company in, there are several companies in the Philippines, several companies that come out of the continent of Africa that have really great rates. Remember, the US dollar reads differently other places. So you may be able to get someone in for 50, 60, 70 bucks a week. All right. If they can save you 5 hours a week, it may be worth the investment. Okay. I'm thinking about it. All right. I've got some, I'm working on things in the background, things I haven't talked about yet. And I know I'm going to need someone else. I cannot do it by myself. Also, Misha is a great example. Misha was when I met Misha in 2017, she was a solo. She was just like me. I was just like her. I don't have any agencies. Be Digital Love, I was very purposeful about not making recommendations because I don't like making recommendations unless I've actually used them. So I'm saying go search, do your own research. I'm searching, but until I actually use someone, I don't want to make that recommendation. All right. But when I met Misha in 2017, we were the same in that she was running this business. She had started it because her girls were like, hey, we want a world that looks like us. And as I've watched her scale and grow, she's brought in more and more people. Jaleel was one of her first people that she brought in, right? So you're going to need to scale, which means you're going to need either people or automations, okay? Or both, all right? So think about that. Give that some thought. Yes, I will be back Wednesday, 7:15. This early start is killing me, but we're going to keep it on schedule, 7:15. Oh, wow. She became a TV producer. That's cool. Yeah. I could speak from a rate standpoint. All I know is the rates in the Philippines tend to be better. And there are a couple of places, plus a couple of agencies out of Africa where the rates are really good. Yeah, it's painful. But I'm about to look into it. Because I'm working day and night. And that's got to stop. That has got to stop, honey. All right, that's it for me today. I tried something a little different. I don't think I'm going to go live on... Yeah, that's what I was thinking. $150 to $260 a month. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Y'all give it some thought. And then when we meet Wednesday, if you've done some research and you found some numbers and rates and websites you like, we can talk about it. And I'll do a little bit of research too. But just full disclosure, I ain't hired nobody, so I don't want to say. And I know good and doggone well I ain't hired a soul. All right, y'all. That's it. Bye, y'all. Look, I gotta cut this off in 2 different places. Now, have a great day, everybody.